नमस्कार फ्रेंड्स, कीप लर्निंग विद एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट मेक इन इंडिया कैंपेन। और आज के सेशन में हम जानेंगे जॉब रोल ऑफ द सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट, लॉजिस्टिक एंड इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट ऑपरेशंस। यहाँ पे जो कंपनी का नाम है वो ओपी मोबिलिटीज है। ठीक है, ये कंपनी है, इसमें एक जॉब रिक्वायरमेंट है जिसमें सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट का एक मैनेजर चाहिए। ठीक है, तो कंपनी के बारे में जान लेते हैं, कंपनी करती क्या है एक्चुअली। कंपनी बनाती है कार के डैशबोर्ड। आपने देखा होगा फ्रंट सीट के सामने जो डैशबोर्ड होता है जिसपे स्क्रीन होती है स्टीयरिंग के साथ में, तो वो डैशबोर्ड या कार बनाती है और सप्लाई टू अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड ये सप्लाई करती है इस प्रोडक्ट को, जहां जहां से रिक्वायरमेंट आती है। तो ये प्रोडक्ट है किस कंपनी के लिए यूज किया जाता है? रिनोल्ट के लिए यूज किया जाता है। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हम कह सकते हैं कि ये कंपनी सप्लायर है जो कि एक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी को पार्ट्स सप्लाई करती है। ठीक है, तो अक्रॉस वर्ल्ड इसका ऑपरेशन है, जिसमें यहाँ पे जो सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट है उसकी यही रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी रहेगी कि इस मशीनरी पार्ट्स को अक्रॉस टू वर्ल्ड कैसे सप्लाई किया जाए। ओके, जैसे जैसे ऑर्डर आते हैं हमें ये एक्सपोर्ट करना है बाय सी बाय एयर। ओके, तो इसकी जो की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हम समझने की कोशिश करते हैं। इस कंपनी ने 4 टाइप की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी यहाँ पे दी है: क्राइसिस मैनेजमेंट एंड बिजनेस कंटिन्यूटी। ओके, तो क्राइसिस मैनेजमेंट जो सप्लाई है आपकी प्रोडक्ट की, उसमें कुछ डिस्टरबेंस आते हैं, उसके रिलेटेड है, तो उसको कैसे मैनेज किया जाता है बिजनेस को कंटिन्यू रखने के लिए। दूसरा सप्लाई चेन एंड लॉजिस्टिक मैनेजमेंट। ठीक है, जितना भी सप्लाई चेन है आपका, रेडी टू मटेरियल टू डिलीवरी ऑफ द मटेरियल, जो भी लॉजिस्टिक मूवमेंट होती है उसका पूरा यहाँ पे हैंडल करना है। इसके लिए थर्ड पार्ट की बात करें तो एक्सिम रेगुलेटरी एंड मैनेजमेंट। एक्सिम एंड रेगुलेटरी मैनेजमेंट, तो यहाँ पे इसका पूरा गवर्नमेंट की जो भी कंप्लायंस है उसका पूरा नॉलेज होना चाहिए, एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट में क्या क्या कंप्लायंस होते हैं। इसके अलावा फोर्थ नंबर की बात करते हैं स्टेक होल्डर कम्युनिकेशन एंड एस्केलेशन। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे कम्युनिकेट करना है इंटरनल और एक्सटर्नल आपके जो स्टेक होल्डर है, जैसे इंटरनल में हो गया आपकी लॉजिस्टिक टीम, प्रोक्योरमेंट टीम, सेल्स टीम। ओके, इसके अलावा बात करें हम डिस्पैच टीम, पैकिंग टीम, और एक्सटर्नल में आ गया सीएचए, फ्रेट फॉरवर्डर, शिपिंग लाइन, कस्टम, डीजेएफटी। ओके, तो इनसे आपका कम्युनिकेशन रहेगा। और एस्केलेशन की बात करें तो आपको अपने हायर मैनेजमेंट को जो भी डिस्टर्बेंस आते हैं सप्लाई में, उसकी रिपोर्ट प्रेजेंट करनी है, एस्केलेट करनी है। तो ये इसकी जॉब रोल है। इसके अलावा यहाँ पे की स्किल की बात की गई है तो वो भी हम देखेंगे। शुरू कर लेते हैं सेशन को। ओके, सो हियर कंपनी रिक्वायर द 8 year experience फॉर द सप्लाई चेन, logistic and exim. Okay, so first key responsibility required for this job post is crisis management and business continuity. Okay, so here you have to identify the risk in supply chain and exim operations. So what kind of risk need to identify? Just like a custom issue, when you importing the goods, if any issues raised by the custom officer, you have to identify such kind of risk and resolve. Then supplier failure, if material is not ready it from any unit, then what you will take the action against this. Okay, just like you place order of the 100 unit of the parts from particular unit. Okay, but supply is failure means that material is not ready, or we can say the booking not available for the airline shipping line. So what you will take the step in such cases, such crisis. Okay, then force majeure event. Okay, if any force which is become a hurdle in the supply, how you will handle. Okay, so these are the risk you need to identify in the supply chain. Then act quickly during the supply chain or exim operations or crisis to minimize operational and financial impact. Okay, so here you have to act quickly. Just like you found the custom related issue, so you have immediately act on this particular crisis. How? Just like just custom officer raise the query related to the part which you are the importing, just like a BIS certificate. Okay, we can say the document related the end use of the product, such kind of queries raised by the custom officer. So you immediately quick reply on that as per requirement. Okay, so these are the supply chain process in which crisis may occur anytime. You need to minimize and quickly respond this crisis to remove and resolve the financial impact. Then prepare the execute backup plan for the high risk situation. So you may understand that such kind of risk may occur in the operation, so you need to prepare the backup plan for the urgently process. Okay, like you have to pre-plan for the backup, just like a supplier issue or we can say custom issue like that. Okay, and you have to work with the procurement teams, closely work with the procurement teams, planning team, finance and legal and compliance, sales team during the crisis. Okay, so in this crisis you have to work with this, closely work with this procurement, planning team, finance and legal, compliance and sales team. Then you have to, these are the crisis management issues. Okay, so you need to track the issue resolutions and the prepare the corrective actions report after the crisis. Okay, once you found any crisis in the supply chain, you need to prepare the SOP regarding that, so that you will get the immediately resolution of this hurdles, this crisis. So you have to prepare, you have to track that what is the status of these resolutions. Means just like a officer raise the query, you immediately point out this query related operations where like you have prepared the letter against the shipments and what is the status. So you have to keep resolve the track every step of the these regulations. Supply chain and logistics, this is the second requirement, key responsibility for these managers supply chain logistic and EXIM for the OP mobilities. So here you have to handle disruptions in inbound outbound logistics. Okay, so what are the disturbances may occur in the import and export? Here inbound outbound means that import and export, maybe the warehouses locations. Okay, so here you have to understand the port delay, vessel delay, transport shortage, warehouse issues. Okay, this kind of disruption may found in the supply of the product to the customer, so immediately you need to react, you immediately you have to prepare for this. Okay, just like a port delay, then how you will handle, this is the external factor obviously, but you need to try to handle this, inform to port authority. Vessel delay, okay, due to the congestion, vessel is not berth on time. Transport shortage, if transport is not available, then what you will take the actions. Warehouse issue, if warehouse there is no space in the warehouse, or we can say inventory not available, so what you will handle. Okay, so you need to find the alternative for this. Okay, just like a transport route, supplier and logistic partners during the emergency case. When you find the emergency case, you have to find alternative transport route. Okay, for the best way, just like you have seen that in the Red Sea there are the attack by the terrorist that time. So what you will do, you need to take the alternate way, just like you move around the Africa and go to the Europe. Okay, so you have understand what is the alternate route for the shipments if any issues found in the way. Supplier, you need to advance backup plan for the new suppliers if supplier is not providing the supply. Logistic partners, transporter, these are also be a backup plan for that. If one transporter is not ready to take goods, then emergency case you have to plan for another one. You have to monitor inventory risk and suggest buffer stock on urgent shipment when required. Okay, so this is important for that, inventory need to be keep as advance as a buffer stock. Okay, you have to coordinate with the freight forwarder, transporter, CHN, third party logistic. Okay, so these are the two key responsibility. First is crisis management and business continuity. Second is the supply chain and logistic management. Now third one is the EXIM regulatory and management. So under this EXIM regulatory management, you have to resolve the custom clearance issues when you import the goods. What is the custom clearance issues? You need to resolve that. In case of export, the same. You have to avoid the detention and demurrage and documentation errors. Okay, then ensure compliance with the DGFT, Custom Foreign Exchange Management Act, Foreign Trade Policy, internal international trade regulations. Okay, so this knowledge required for that import and export, where DGFT rules follow, what is the custom rules in the import export, what is the foreign exchange management for the foreign remittance, what is the foreign trade policies, chapter 2 for the import export guidelines, international trade and negotiation. So you need to ensure this compliance which related to government. Then you have to coordinate with the officials, custom officials, port authorities, and government bodies to clear exim issues. Okay, when examination process, if any officer raise the query regarding that, you have to resolve that and coordinate with the custom officers. If you any issue with the port authority, then you intimate to the port authorities. Okay, then government bodies. Sometimes you have to contact with the government bodies and exim operations. You have to manage urgent changes in the shipping documents, license, and permit. Okay, when you import the goods, if any license is lower than the shipment import, license value is the lower than the import goods. So what you will do, you need to immediately uh, correct these shipping documents, like a license need to update. Okay, so here manage to urgent change in the shipping documents is also have a good knowledge for this responsibility. Now you have to talk with the stakeholder. So what is the stakeholder communication? You have to contact with the internal external communication and escalate if any issue found. So first, share regular updates, reports, and dashboard with the management for the import export related. Okay, then you have clearly communicate risk. Okay, whatever the risk you found, you clearly communicate with the senior. What is the timeline of this that one, and what is the recovery plan to the stakeholder. This thing need to be important for this stakeholder communication and escalation. And you have to escalate the crisis issue with the proper data and the recommendations. Okay, if you have found any crisis in the supply, just like a custom delay or base port delay or booking not available, so you have to prepare the proper data, and you what you can give the recommendation and solution for that, you also share with the management. Process improvement and paperless prepared preparedness. Okay, so here you need to improve the process by help of develop crisis management SOP. Okay, standard operation procedure, then business continuity plan. So you have to try to find out what issues you found in the process. Okay, so then you need to prepare the standard procedures to step by step how you need to handle such crisis with organization. Now participate in the risk assessment scenario planning. Okay, improve the supply chain and exim process to reduce the future risk. Okay, you have to improve the supply chain management and exim operations to reduce the future risk. Okay, so these are the very important key roles for the job role. Now we will understand the what key risk skill also and competency required for this job role, supply chain logistic and exim for the manager job role. Okay, so here strong knowledge of the supply chain logistic and exim, this is the very necessary. Then ability to handle crisis and make quick decisions. Okay, the person have a good ability to resolve the crisis. Okay, then good understanding of the custom process, Incoterm, foreign trade, and trade compliance. So first is knowledge of the supply chain on require the ability per candidate need to have a ability to handle any crisis of the supply chain, just like many any issues found the disruption of the supply chain, so how you can handle. Then you have a good understanding with the custom procedure knowledge, what document required in the custom, what Incoterms no, and foreign trade, these are the requirement of this. Then strong coordination and negotiation skill required for this. Good reporting and MIS data analysis skill required for this. Clear communication and escalation handling. Strong ownership and accountability. This is very important. Strong ownerships. When you have to take the ownership of the any movements, any supply chain handling and all the thing. Okay, so you have accountability and ownership need to require for this job role. So guys, in this session we have tried to understand what is the job role for the supply chain management and EXIM operation for the company OP Mobilities, where the company supply the product of the car parts. Okay, this supply is across the world. So here the company requires a good manager who can handle this crisis management, business continuities, supply chain logistic management. Other than this, the EXIM regulatory and management, stakeholder communications, and this key requires. So these are the key responsibility for that. So guys, we are just going to end this session here. Thanks for watching the session. Have a nice day.